She's real fine, my 409. She's real fine, my 409, my 409.
Welcome to the fastest hour in radio, All About Cars. Brought to you by ABC Motors Prescott with your hosts, David, Don't Call Me Dave Spence, and Big Mike Hill.
Well, Mike, this is David, and we're on the air, and let's get going with something here.
All right. First off, David, we want to introduce our illustrious, lovely producer there, Mr. Scott Wild. Thank you for being here and helping us out, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having a show that we're going to love.
It ought to be fun. David, congratulations on your new show.
My new show.
This moment was yours. The next one's mine. So, I know we've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about every week. This week we got some safety stuff we want to discuss. We're going to be going through a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to try to get through it all. So hang on, buckle your seatbelts, and here we go.
You trying to tell them what the hell the show's about?
Well, kind of, a little bit.
I don't think you told them.
Well, you tell them.
Well, the show's about everything that you could ever think about with cars. We might even talk about motorcycles, and we're definitely not leaving out the trucks. We're going to talk about, like Mike said, safety recalls. We're going to talk about how to fix stuff on your cars, how to restore cars, car shows in the area. We're also going to talk about people's cars that they actually own, bring people in here. We might talk to some people that have stuff on Craigslist for sale even. You never know, but we're going to talk about just about anything that has to do with cars ever.
Actually, David, I know for a fact, and I haven't told you yet, but I called somebody off Craigslist with a really cool car. He told me he's around the corner this morning. He's going to bring that car right over here. And I want to talk to him about it live on the air probably in the next segment. So we're going to get to that. And I got to tell you, and I'm sure Scott will agree with me, you've got to stop looking this chipper this early in the morning, because I don't know what kind of coffee you got, but I don't have any of it.
No, you don't, because I drink tea. That's the difference.
Oh, we've been doing it wrong, Scott.
Yeah, this soda pop's not really working for me.
So I got to get this off my chest real quick. Mr. Scott, I know you raced last week. You're racing again tonight. I heard some commentary about the races. Some people that were out there said they had a fantastic time, lots of fun. And the comment that I heard was that your car was not rude and obnoxious like some of the others, that yours was very well-mannered and sounded appropriate and didn't scream at everybody. It was, now I also heard that your car was the absolute best looking car in the class. So
you're saying he lost, aren't you?
No, I don't even know how it turned out. I just know that
How does David know you're sugarcoating
it? Well, I didn't have results. What I did have was, I had somebody tell me, they said, there was a super clean wagon out there. And they said it wasn't roaring or anything. It sounded like it had mufflers on it. And I know you're driving out there. What class are you driving in, Scott?
Hobby stock.
Hobby stock. So we want to go into, at some point, not necessarily this minute, but what the different classes are. But there's how many different classes are there out there?
That run out there on any given weekend, we got about probably 10 different classes, if not more.
Wow, that's a lot of racing.
Oh, man. Every weekend. There's never a shortage. There's at least 3 to 4 classes racing every Saturday night.
Nice. So it's not the same thing. If you go this week, it's not the same as if you go next week.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I may have to go there tonight and watch the races. I know David's not going to go because David's flying to Bakersfield for the pre-World War II swap meet. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm going to go there to the pre-World War II, everything before World War II swap meet put on by the Model T Club and the Horses Carriage Club over in California. And it's the biggest swap meet pre-World War II in the West, period.
Now, is that pre the end of World War II or pre the beginning?
Well, you got to remember it's pre the beginning. There weren't any cars made during World War II.
Well, I didn't, what about the bug? I mean, was the bug, what year would you have found a bug?
Oh, you mean a Beetle?
Well, yeah.
Well, Mr. Porsche did that for Adolf, essentially, but they weren't put into production really until after the war at any great level.
So would you see them at that pre-World War II, like maybe an original?
Theoretically, I suppose you could. You're more likely to see something made in 1910 over there, believe it or not.
That's cool. 1910.
Yeah, why the hell not? See a 1910 Carter car.
How about like a 1909 Ford Model T?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Actually, the downside is I end up by going at this point, I missed the actual tour.
Well, I get it, but you're flying there in the company prop plane.
Yeah.
You know, I got guys out there twisting the rubber bands right now, try to get enough revolutions to get you carried all the way over there. You know, I joke about the Model T being out there, but it's really possibility. And what's interesting about it is Time Magazine and one of their writers, Dan Neal, put together the 50 worst cars of all time. And believe it or not, the 1909 Ford Model T actually made it onto that list. And I'm not a big Model T guy, but I thought that they were pretty well loved by people. But evidently, there's
maybe he's not much of a car guy. I wouldn't ever say Model Ts weren't pretty well loved. I think they're very well loved over the years, period.
Well, keep in mind, the Gremlin's on the list here, too, and it's really, people still collect them, but it's not really a great car.
No, I wouldn't say it was. And you got to think, what was AMC thinking they named their car Gremlin?
Well,
isn't that what you don't want in your car?
Yeah.
I don't want gremlins.
Yeah, Scott's kind of like our production gremlin.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, no, he's on the fast track to lose all his money.
So, how was the races?
The races were every class besides the hobbies. We had 6 racers show up last Saturday in the hobby stock class, and I found out really quickly that test and tune Thursday practices, you don't really race, you just check out your own vehicle. No, that day, because I wasn't racing, didn't realize that I had a lot of more work to do. Out of 6, I came in 6th, and my motor is basically a paperweight. It's 307, Oldsmobile 307, and I'm going to do whatever I can do to get the most out of it, but I can't even keep up with. I'm not very competitive. Right. So I already got a 350 lined up.
So why did you choose the Oldsmobile then?
That was in my price range.
It was in the car.
Yeah, I actually drove about 30 miles into the desert south of Tucson, and I didn't know if I was ever going to get back. I was like, what? A Craigslist.
It was free, right?
It was $500 up on blocks. I still got the same tires on it.
I've seen those tires. You might want to.
No, I do want to change them.
Okay.
So you're trying to have a hell of a lot of fun on the low budget, right?
Exactly. As a hobby, you'll never make money driving hobby stocks, but it's just the greatest thing I've ever done on 4 wheels.
No, but that's cool. That's a cool thing to do. Nobody says you're supposed to make money.
That's right. Well, money's not everything. But you know, Scott, one of our sponsors, Tire Bros down there on Carlton and Montezuma, if you need tires for that car, he's the man. He's got used tires, new tires, and does all your tire service there.
Well, if he can help me out. I got plenty of room for more sponsors on that car.
I'm sure. And, you know, at the very least, I know he's got the tire hookup for you. So
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Diego and his guys are pretty good guys down there, and they treat just about everybody that comes in. They treat them really well. So there are the occasional guys that come in with an attitude, and they get dismissed because, you know, you're not supposed to have an attitude. Right. It's not nice.
Who's got time for that anymore?
No, we don't want that. So does our producer have a girlfriend?
I have a wife of 12 and a half years.
You have a wife of 12 and a half years. Now you really need this.
Those are 2 separate questions.
Well,
yeah,
that's true.
You jumped right to the end of his question list.
That's the case.
Welcome to Michael and David's confession hall.
Right.
I'm not sure where David was going with that, but I'm
sure where I'm going with it, because he's like some of our other people who have to go out and see one of our other sponsors, Prescott Flower Shop.
Absolutely.
Because he has another girlfriend and he might want to make the current one happy.
Yeah.
That's good thinking.
You know, I'll tell you, you're absolutely right. And and Scott, if you've got a wife that you want to feel like she's your girlfriend, go over to Prescott Flower Shop over on Miller Valley, right across the street from Fry's. They will get you set up in such a way that your wife will think that you've done something wrong, and then she'll be grateful that you did it and ask you to do it again.
Right.
So
that's probably about right. Do this more often.
Yeah. Coming up, David, I've got a question in the next segment there that you and I are going to have to talk about. I've got a real concern for your well-being and your safety.
All right.
So we're going to discuss that. I know that, by the way, how did you do, Scott?
6th out of 6.
All right. So you were the first one to be last across the line. I'm not
it's my sleeper. I'm going to tease them for the first couple races, thinking this guy's not a threat.
False sense of security.
Exactly.
You know, I have an idea for you. Let Mr. Hussey drive your car in an actual race, and then instead of the wall, he'll take out a couple guys. Your car wins.
Then I have the least beautiful car out there. It's a give and take thing.
Yeah, there would be.
Because last week during the test and tune, didn't your car touch something it wasn't supposed to be
He is my
touching?
major sponsor, and I watched him come out of turn 4, lost the rear end, headed right towards the inside wall, saved it, yeah, hit the outside wall.
Oh,
he
no.
overcorrected it and steered right into the outside wall.
You know, just when you think you're sliding along, you overcorrect,
Exactly.
and bad things happen. We've got all kinds of fun stuff coming up here, Scott. So hopefully you'll have some more information about the races. David and I, we're going to talk about your safety. And I'm going to get you out of here on time today. I promise. You got up early. Obviously, you've had your tea. And you're playing, like I said, they're twisting the rubber bands. I don't know what, Scott just handed somebody a staple gun. Maybe a flaps off or something. I'm not sure. But we're going to get all of that stuff figured out here.
I'm glad you care for my safety.
I do, and our listeners do, and well, Scott doesn't because of your girlfriend comment, but you know, it'll all work itself out in the next segment, I'm sure. We've also got a visitor coming in. He brought his car over. I heard that thing pull up outside. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a look at it. I'll have some pictures up on our Facebook page, and we're gonna crank this out. Man, I can't believe we're already done with the first segment.
That's incredible.
Time flies. What did we call this, Scott?
All about cars.
Yeah, but what are we? We're the fastest
Fastest hour in
Fastest
radio.
hour in radio.
There you go.
Giddy up, ooh, giddy up,